Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here. Today I want to talk to you about upcoming Kill Team rumours, releases, who knows exactly. But we have a big, should I call it a leak? Sure, why not? Over on Discord, not mine in this particular instance, but the generic kind of Asuryani Eldari Discord, there has been kind of, what's it called? It's an advent calendar of upcoming Eldar codex drop releases, etc. And specifically, I want to talk about the Kill Team. So, of course, because I'm a Kill Team channel, why wouldn't I? I want to just wildly speculate about what might be coming for Kill Team when it comes to the Asuryani. As we know, Craftworld, the Compendium team, are in a really bad spot. Arguably the worst team, but probably not, but very close, right? Like, I'm sure a skilled player could do kind of like better than another team with them, but if you're a new player going in and playing Craftworlds, it's probably the worst possible situation to be in, purely because they're quite fragile, so you have no ability to tank wounds and like make up for mistakes. So anyway, I don't know why I'm explaining what Craftworld are to you. Let's talk about the leaks, the rumours, what this might mean for Kill Team. So, on the Discord servers, the Asuryani Discord servers, kind of, it is advent calendar of leaks, the final day, Christmas Eve, they are going to leak, obviously this is all speculation, like it might all be false, but, it's the same guy that did the rumours of, all the rumours that have come true so far, like, Gene Sealer Codex, Custodians Codex, Black Templars, all this stuff. It's all from the same guy, apparently. So, firstly, we don't know when it's coming out for 40k. We also don't know when it's coming out for Kill Team. So, we're not talking about release dates, but it does kind of confirm, and we're going to find out more on Christmas Eve, that the Asuryani are getting a Kill Team. We knew that. Of course they're getting a Kill Team. In the rumour lineup, there are 3 types of models that are suited for Kill Team that are going to be released. This is all assuming the rumours are true, right? So there are Rangers, there are Swooping Hawks, and there are Warp Spiders. Rangers are obviously something we need to talk about. Swooping Hawks? Now, I'm not some huge Eldar, Asuryani lore buff, but I don't really feel that a jump pack troop is probably, that's all about flying high, then swooping down, making a fast kill and getting away. That doesn't seem to be particularly kill teamy to me. But Warp Spiders, where you teleport around, seems a lot more kill teamy than Swooping Hawks. So, let's ignore Swooping Hawks. I don't think that... Oh, just in case I didn't say. Those are the 3 model types, Aspect Warriors. Oh, there are also there's a new Guardian kit. So we could get Guardians as well. So Guardians, that also have the Storm Guardian upgrade sprue, Rangers, and Warp Spiders. These are the 3 options. I'm going to ignore Swooping Hawks, partly because I don't really know much about them, and also I don't think they're very kill teamy. Just throwing that out there. So we have Rangers already, we have Storm Guardians already, and we have Guardians already. So it's possible that when it comes to the Craftworld Kill Team, for like their artisanal Kill Team, over in their box release or their White Dwarf, whatever they get, if they get a White Dwarf, I would suspect that they're just going to do exactly what the AdMech and the Warp Coven have done, where you basically you can take whatever those models are, but now you have 10 slots to play with, so you could take 1 Ranger as a leader maybe, then another Ranger, and then 3 Guardians, and then a Dire Avenger, right? Something like that. That's probably what they're going to do, a relative uninspired kill team for them when it comes to, if they get the White Dwarf update. But if they get a big box release, then it's entirely possible that they come out as, let's say, a 5 or 10 man Warp Spider team, or a 5 or 10 man Ranger team. Or maybe we'll see something a little bit different for a box release. Or maybe they will come out and they will give us 2 new kits Like, they could do that. They could say, okay, you can take Rangers, you can take Warp Spiders. So it's still a totally new team than the Compendium, but it's not drawn from the Compendium stats. But it's also not limited to what they could put into a single box for a boxed team, right? So that could be interesting. Let's now think, how are they going to buff Rangers? Rangers are such an interesting fire team because they're not bad. Like, they're not bad, but they're not good. They're not good enough. They can be, for those of you that haven't played against Rangers, Rangers have a sniper rifle. It's, it's like, I think it's a 3-4, so it's a bolter, but mortal wound 1 on the crit, and it's silent. What this means is that they can go and hide and run in vantage points and just be completely untouchable for the entire game, right? And it's very frustrating. And you can take, and they are a fire team of 4, and that's part of what makes them frustrating. Trying to play against 4 models with silent is like, what do I do here? Now, obviously, if you're a Space Marine or something with a decent armor save, it's kind of fine. You just tank the hits, and they're not that damaging. You could just kind of accept it. Always get the cover save. Okay, sometimes you're fair to save, but they're going to have to shoot you a lot to actually get a kill. So, not a big deal. And of course, if they're shooting you a lot, they're not doing things. So, it's fine. But how do you buff Rangers? Because if you have a model with a silent weapon, and you have 4 of them, if you buff them, like, it's such a fine line. It's so close to being, this is an oppressive team to play against if you just buff their damage or something. But right now, they don't have the tools to actually do anything. And they're not amazing at killing. They're just very frustrating to play against. So how do you buff them? You don't really need to buff their camo cloaks. Their cloaks are fine. They get an additional save if they're in, cover. So, cool, camo cloaks are good. They only have a 5-up save normally, so they kind of need that extra durability. Nice. Their weapons, again, because they have silent, they are already, you can't really buff their weapons. They also come with a shuriken pistol. So that's like, they already have a closer combat weapon if they need to get an additional bit of mobility for a turn where they use their movement instead of their sniper rifle, but they can still make a shot just within 6 inches. You could, I suppose, give them plasma grenades. That's kind of where I was going with that. But they have the pistols. They don't really need the grenade. It's such a difficult one. The only thing you could do to buff them would be to give them more interesting ploys and more interesting equipment they could equip. But actually their equipment's already good. But their equipment buffs either their defensiveness, or it buffs their, gives them lethal 5-up if you take a scope. Which is like, okay, that's good, but you're buffing something that is already quite strong. And you could make it too oppressive very easily. But let's talk about Warp Spiders, because then we can just get into just pure speculation. How would a Warp Spider team work? Warp Spiders, if you don't know, in the lore, are all about, they have teleport packs, basically. They have teleport packs, and I think they're called like shuriken spinners or something like that. And all these do is they're just a normal gun. I think they're a good gun, like they're like 18-inch range in 40k this is, with AP and strength 4 and like all of these shuriken weapons. They have rending sort of thing. So I imagine it would be very similar to a Dire Avenger, except they would have some sort of ploy or ability that basically gives them a pseudo fly, but it wouldn't be a fly, it would be a teleport. So, you know how the Warp Coven, their sorcerer has a teleport ability where you can move a model? It would be very similar. I assume you would remove the model from the board, and then you would put the model back on the board within 6 inches of wherever that model originally began. And it's like, oh, okay, so you can ignore terrain, you can ignore all of that. Similar to how Harlequins have their flip belts, right? And that seems fine, but I'm not really sure how that would play. It would be, this is the difficulty when it comes to thinking about new teams. The raw stats of the model Although they can define things, obviously, it kind of doesn't matter. For example, let's take Pathfinders. Pathfinders, we know they're a very strong team, right? But their raw stats, although acceptable, like big scary gun, but their raw stats are nothing to blow you away. They do have some special abilities on the stat cards that are like, oh, this is interesting. But actually, it's their ploys. It's their ploys and their equipment that make Pathfinders the devastatingly strong team that they seem to be. So whilst it's great to think about, okay, well, how's a warp spider going to move? What is their weapon going to be? That's great, but it doesn't matter, right? The reason Pathfinders are so fast and can use their Markalites effectively is because they have a ploy that allows everyone, essentially, to get a free dash, which means that everyone is, essentially, APL 3 for a CP. Okay, so how can we apply that same logic to warp spiders? Maybe, for a CP, everybody gets a free teleport move, which is whatever it is, right? It's, it's the replace this model within 6 inches of wherever it is. Maybe you can only use it once a game. Who knows? That seems super strong. But let's say that is then just it. For a CP, the entirety of your team has a move that doesn't count as a move, ignores terrain, all this stuff. That's insane. But also it's wild speculation. Because we can't just look at 40k and say, okay, these are probably what the stats are going to be, and then kind of think, this is what it might end up being in Kill Team, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all until we know how many of them we can take and what their ploys and equipment are going to be. More their ploys than their equipment. Equipment is useful, but I don't think anything's been like super game defining so far. It's much more the ploys are kind of making a team what they should be. And I think until we know ploys, it doesn't even matter. Why am I doing this video? I'm just hyped for warp spiders and rangers. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, there you go. And new Eldar models in general. As you know, for me, I use the RTLW Ranger models. I think they're awesome. I also have the Fire Dragon models from them. I have these Triton Scorpions from them. And I also now, you haven't seen them on my channel yet, but I also have the Warp Spiders from them. FYI. I'm going to still use their Warp Spiders, not the GW ones. I'll probably buy and make the GW ones, but I'm going to be using the RTLW ones, so my bad. It's so difficult to talk about rumours and speculation because the raw stats don't matter. Until we know their ploys, and there's no way we can guess at their ploys. Let's say this whole teleport thing, that sounds insanely powerful to me. Maybe it's just for a CP, everyone gains fly, right? Or everyone gains essentially the flip belt ability. That's still really strong. But then, will the Craftworld team basically just become Harlequins but with long-range shooting instead of close combat? Interesting. But the reason that Harlequins need the flip belt so much is because they are melee. They don't have range. And if you remove their melee capacity, which is what warp spiders have long-range weapons, if you remove that, you don't need a flip belt. The flip belt allows you to close distance. If you have long-range shooting, you don't need fly, essentially. I mean, obviously, fly is still good. I'm not saying it's not. But just when you're thinking about how to design a team, you've got to think about, okay, what does this team do? Okay, but they're also very fragile. So how do we get them to not be fragile while still being fragile? Okay, we give them a flip belt. That kind of thing. I don't know. Or, I don't... So the other thing, the thing is you could do so many things. I've only talked about the movement for a potential lore-friendly warp spider. Give them teleport, cool. But you could also do, okay, the way they teleport is they phase in and out of the warp. Cool. Or the web way, sorry. Obviously, they wouldn't go into the warp. That'd be insane for an Eldar to do that. Okay, that means they always count as being in light cover, right? You could also do overcharge their spinners. So everyone on the team can fire twice. And you can combo that with everyone in the team gets to make a free teleport move of 6 inches. So, and suddenly you have an entire team that's firing twice and moving. I was like, who knows? This is all complete speculation. But I've enjoyed doing it. My question is, what do you think an Eldari team is going to be? Obviously, I'm going to talk about this in a much more formatted and like structured way once the leak drops on hopefully Christmas Eve, because I'm super interested to know what it is. And hopefully we'll also see some pictures of whatever their new models will be. And at the very least, we'll see the models that it can take. If it's just warp spiders, if it's just rangers, cool. In which case it will probably be a white dwarf team, a box team. But then if it's a mixture, if it's warp spiders, rangers, guardians, storm guardians, then it's probably going to be a white dwarf team, just with warp spiders added in as a new data sheet that we haven't seen before from Compendium, which we haven't seen GW do yet, but they can, right? I mean, there's no reason they can't do that. Like, technically, in the Warp Coven, the sorcerers that they have been added in are not the sorcerers from the rubric box, they are the exalted sorcerer box. Those are the sorcerers that are being taken. That's why we can take 3. We're not breaking the building convention of the 40k rubric marine box because you are taking different sorcerers, right? That's why we're taking 3 sorcerers for the Warp Coven. Technically, those are new data sheets. We can see that happen in other kill teams as well. So we could see new data sheets put in for warp spiders, which we haven't seen in Compendium, but then the rest of the team could still be Storm Guardians, Guardian Defenders, and Rangers, who are essentially the same, but will get new ploys. And hopefully slightly more bespoke models. And of course, the Rangers would also have entirely new kits. So perhaps on those kits, if you give them funky little belts or a knife, that becomes a specialist that data sheet, the Ranger data sheet, could take. Same for Storm Guardians, same for Guardian Defenders. The possibilities are limitless, and I'm really hyped for it. What do you guys think Eldari are going to get? Are you an Eldari fan? Why not? Because statistically you aren't, just to be clear. A lot of people love Eldari, but more don't. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I'm on holiday, so sorry for this super low effort video. Not much else I could do, my bad. I don't know, I'm hyped for more Kill Team news, to be honest with you. And we have no idea what's coming when. I mean, I think officially we don't have a new Kill Team drop till February, is that right? And then and that's like the earliest we might get a new Kill Team box and White Dwarf, I guess. And then, have we had this month's? Yeah, so this quarter's White Dwarf was Warp Coven. And we've had that. And now we have 3 months till potentially something new drops. And we've seen that Gene Stealer cults and Custodes codices have been pushed back. So maybe that means all of our stuff is being pushed back as well. And we're not getting anything till like mid-March? I don't know. Or, yeah. Well, maybe we're not getting anything till April. Who knows? So, all I can do is talk about Kill Team. Anyway, because I'm on holiday, for those of you that don't know, and you've somehow bizarrely made it to the end of this video of rambles and just bleh. If you want more of this, of me and potentially other people talking, because I'm on holiday, unless we get any actual news dropping whilst I'm away, I'm going to start releasing my Vantage Point podcast episodes. I just have to redo some thumbnails and then boom, you'll be able to watch them. This does mean they're going to be like 3 months old. It is what it is. Anyway guys, this has been Glass Half Dead. Thank you very much for watching this chat about my hype for something that's coming in 22 days. Possibly. Unconfirmed rumours, etc. Who knows? Yeah. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye.